Hi everyone, welcome to my 1 week postpartum vlog. Today my baby Prairie is 9 days old. I'm a couple of days late posting this because this week in Australia it's book week. And for those who don't know what book week is, it's just basically when your kid goes to school, they choose their favorite character from a book and they get dressed up. It's not actually just in Australia. We've done it in Wales. When we lived in Wales, we did it there too. And basically you just pick a character from a book that you love and you get dressed up. Bodhi decided that he wanted to go as a creeper from the Minecraft encyclopedia book he's been reading. And of course I was like, fantastic, I'll just ring up some costume shops and see what they have in the way of Minecraft. And then sure enough, there was just nothing. So I spent 2 full days working on a costume for Bodhi. We found one online. Another mum was like, DIY creeper costume from Minecraft. And it was extremely time consuming, way more time consuming than I ever thought. I had my hot glue gun and I was in Spotlight for 2 hours trying to find all the right pieces. And then I had to cut out every individual square and then hot glue gun it onto a costume. Anyway, it just took forever. And then I'm such a perfectionist that I would see things I wasn't happy with and then redo them. Anyway, so that was 2 full days, and props to Cassandra, who is one of my best friends. She was actually at my birth as well. She runs Your Zen Mama for us. And she was like, hey, just no pressure, just checking in. How's that postpartum vlog coming along? And I was like, I'm so sorry. I have not done it. I can't do it. I don't have a spare second. I'm literally sitting down in a pile of fabric, cutting and gluing and sewing and all sorts of things. Anyway, so today is your 9th day on this planet, on this earth. This is her. Oh my God, look how massive her nappy is. This is my nappy. It's really big. We're doing, I love it when they go cross-eyed. Hello. Here she is. We're doing cloth nappies, and the cloth nappies are so massive on her. They're huge. That they take up half her body. So here she is. Here's my little Prairie. And she is so little. She's my littlest. Yes, you are. Oh, I'm in newborn heaven. I love it. I love the newborn stage so much. Do you want some booby? Or are you okay if I put you back down? Let's see if she's happy down there. She'll probably smelt it and then she'll be like, I want the milk. Oh my goodness, I'm in that bliss, lovey, obsessive newborn stage. And I know it's not always that way. I know I'm completely sleep deprived. I haven't slept. Look at my face. Huge bags under my eyes. But she is, in general, really chill, really relaxed. That might just be her nature. I also think being a 4th-time mum, I'm so chill and cruisy. And, the more children you have, I think the more you just kind of go with the flow because that's what you have to do. I think with Bodhi, I remember I was so obsessive with timing every feed and looking at the clock, and I had an app to make sure that I was doing everything correctly, and just so strange to me now to listen to that and be like, oh, I relied upon an app to tell me when my baby was hungry. What was I thinking? So instead, I just listen to her cues. I watch her. Right now, I'll show you this little thing that she does that all babies do, really. Look, that's called rooting, where she's got her little mouth open and then they start sort of hitting their face with their hands, trying to look, she's looking for a nipple. She's like, why hasn't someone put a nipple in my mouth? Anyway, so it's been really chill. I just listen to her cues. Like right now she wants to feed. And I really sort of let her take the lead. You just have to make sure that your baby's having enough wet nappies and enough poo-poo nappies. And generally I just sort of let her sleep when she's tired and when she wants to eat, even when it's, consecutive. Sometimes in an hour she'll want to feed 3 times, and that's fine. It means she's cluster feeding, and that's what she feels like doing. So it's been really chill, really cruisy. My recovery from birth was fantastic. I am still bleeding. Today's day 9. I'm still bleeding a tiny bit. So really, really, it's more like a light period. Perineum, everything's intact. Everything was great. No tearing. So that means the recovery has been so much easier. I will get into the birth. I'm going to actually share birth videos. So a lot of the footage that we shot at my birth, as well as photos, I'm kind of editing it all together whilst telling the story of my birth. So that might be a few weeks away, just because it's kind of a big job, and I'm going to release it on YouTube and on Your Zen Mama, because I watched so many birth videos myself to prepare for Prairie's birth, and I just felt like, oh, this is a beautiful opportunity for me to give back and to show people how I got through it. And I will say it felt more challenging than the second birth and the third birth, but I'm still just so happy with how it turned out, and she's healthy and amazing, and it was such a magical experience for me. It really was, as challenging as it got at times, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in the birth story, but that was a position thing, little mess. But yeah, so the day I gave birth in the morning, and she was perfect and gorgeous and tiny, little teeny tiny girl, by far my smallest bubby. And we just sort of snuggled and did a lot of skin on skin, and I was absolutely exhausted. So I had a nap. She slept that first night. She slept essentially the entire night. And Mark and I would sporadically kind of wake up and touch her belly and like, all right, let's just let her have this sleep for the first night. And then the second night, we tried her in the snoo. She's not a fan yet, but my babies tend to prefer to be in the snoo when they're a little bit older. So she's been doing most of her sleeping in the docker top, which is this guy over here. And it's got some good edges there, and I think she feels kind of hugged by it. So we put her in a little swaddle. She likes to be swaddled. A zip-up Woomy. Also, Happiest Baby have really beautiful swaddles that they go in, and that you sort of pin their arms down, and it stops the Moro reflex from waking them up, which all babies have the Moro reflex, which is when you sort of put them down, their arms fly out, and oftentimes it wakes them up. So she loves to be swaddled. I definitely felt like the first few days, she came when I was 39 weeks pregnant. I felt like the first few days that she was around, she still felt like she was in the womb. She thought she was in the womb. Everything seemed very womb-like, her movements and the way she was holding herself. And she was just so super sleepy, and nursing, oh my gosh, this could go on forever, because there's so many aspects of that first week where you're falling in love with your baby and you're getting to know them. And the first latch was beautiful. She I wanted to do what they call the boob crawl, where you just let the newborn sort of kind of find the nipple. And I did do that. And she ended up latching, say about 40 minutes after birth. And she kind of like bobbed her head around and then she found it. And my midwife, Julie, said that she hasn't seen that kind of strong latch in a newborn in a really long time. And I was so proud of her. I felt like she really knew that this is her job. This is her number one job, is to kind of latch on. And it helps that I've been nursing since 2014. I don't have the same kind of sensitivity that in my nipples that I think most people do, because I haven't had a break. So that aspect of it made it really so much easier for me with her first latch. But also she has an extremely long tongue, and I've never had a baby with such a long tongue. Most of my babies tend to have ties, and we kept on looking at her tongue like, wow, that's a very long tongue. And she would poke it out so much and just kind of figured it out, like knew how to nurse from the start, which was just such a big relief, because you never know. I know I've been doing it for a long time and it's my fourth baby, and I've had really sort of straightforward, touch wood, experiences with breastfeeding. Of course, I've had all the things, blocked milk ducts, I've had mastitis plenty of times, I've had nipple aversion, I've had all those things that can come with breastfeeding, but it's never a guarantee. It's a new baby, you don't know how they're going to take to the breast, but she did it beautifully and straight away. And then from then on, we just do on-demand feeding. So whenever she wants it, and again, if she's fed twice in the hour or 3 times, it doesn't matter. She tells me when she needs it. Sometimes she's going to be hungrier than other times. I let her sleep, and I'm just really conscious to check that she's having plenty of wet nappies and doing plenty of poo-poos, so that I know that she's getting enough. She tends to cluster feed at nighttime and have a lot more awake time at night. Look at her little tongue. Oh, she just sticks her tongue out. And that's also when I know she wants to breastfeed, is when I kiss her and she turns to try and breastfeed. That's also when I know she's still hungry. But yeah, this week's been really great in terms of my body. Oh, I've done something to my neck and my shoulder from sleeping up on some pillow that I have a lot of pillows, and I sort of slept in this really weird position, and the next morning I woke up and I've had such a sore shoulder for the past 2 days, and it's actually it's hit some nerve, and I don't have feeling in 2 of my fingers, which is just so random. 2 of my fingers are numb. So that's, in terms of body, that's really the only thing that feels sore. I think the first few days after birth, I was just a bit achy. I had really bad after pains. They say that it gets worse with subsequent pregnancies, and in my case, that is true. I definitely felt anytime I nursed, especially when my milk came in on that second day, my milk came in, the cramps were so full on. Like, it really felt like I was back in labor again. And she had to go to the hospital the morning she was born because of her the antigen stuff, just to get checked out. I'm going to pause right now and I'm going to start the next video.